Well, hey there, and welcome to Board to Learn, the channel dedicated to helping you learn how to play your new games faster. My name is Kent, and today we're looking at Finspan, a resource management engine building tableau game for 1 to 5 marine researchers. So meet me at the table, and we'll get started. In Finspan, you play as a marine researcher exploring the world's oceans in search of aquatic life. Over the course of the game, you'll discover and observe fish across 3 depth zones: the bright sunlight zone, the eerie twilight zone, and the pitch black midnight zone. To set up, start by placing the eggs, young fish, and schoolfish tokens into piles within reach of all players, forming a general supply. I'm using component upgrades and organizers that can be purchased separately. Shuffle the 10 starter fish cards and form a face-down deck. Then shuffle the main fish cards, also forming a face-down deck, and placing it near the general supply of egg and fish tokens. Next, place the achievement board near the general supply. It is suggested to use side A for first-time players. Place the week tracker on the achievement board on week 1. Now here's where the table starts to get a little crowded. Each player receives an ocean mat and places it in front of them. Give each player a player aid. Take the 6 divers of your chosen color and place them close to your ocean mat. Take a young fish token and 2 egg tokens and place them on your ocean mat in the designated spots. Deal 2 starting fish cards to each player, then place any remaining starting cards back in the box. Place the 2 cards you were dealt face up to the left of your ocean mat. From the main deck, deal 4 fish cards to each player. These cards should also be placed face up to the left of your ocean mat. These cards are considered your hand and should always remain face up to the side of your mat. Any cards gained throughout the game should also be placed here. Lastly, choose the first player at random and give them the first player token. And with that, the setup is complete. In Finspan, you'll spend 4 weeks discovering fish and building an engine that improves with every new fish you discover. Different dive sites help you expand your research by adding fish, laying eggs, hatching young, and forming schools. The player who scores the most points from fish, eggs, young, schools, and achievements wins the game. Each week, players will take 6 turns total, starting with the first player and moving clockwise around the table. On your turn, you'll use a diver to either play a fish card or take a dive at one of the 3 dive sites. But before we get wet, let's take a look at the anatomy of a fish card, so you know exactly what you're looking at when you play one. In the center of the card, running from top to bottom, you'll find the name of the fish, along with an image and a short description or fun fact. Just to the right of the name, you'll see 1 or more tags. These represent special features of the fish and can matter when playing other fish cards later in the game. In the top left corner is the cost to play the fish. If you're unsure what any of these icons mean, the player aid has a full breakdown. Directly below the cost is the zone, or zones, where the fish can be placed on your ocean mat. A sun icon represents the sunlight zone, which is the top 3 rows. The sunset icon is the twilight zone, a single row in the middle of the mat. And the moon icon represents the midnight zone, which is the bottom 2 rows. Sometimes you'll see an additional placement restriction on the far right side of the card. This appears as a blue, purple, or green stripe running from the top to the bottom of the card. That stripe tells you which column the fish must be placed in addition to any zone restrictions. Some cards also show a bonus placement icon tied to the card's ability. This may be a river icon, which refers to the top row of your ocean mat, or an arrow with a line underneath it, which refers to the bottom row. Back on the left side of the card, underneath the zone icons, is a number next to the wave. This is the point value of the fish. Below that is the fish's length, shown with a tail icon. Keep an eye on these tail icons, as they can also matter when playing other fish cards. Finally, on the right side of the card, you'll find the card's ability. If it says when played, you gain the bonus immediately after placing the fish. If there's a brown square that says if activated, the ability triggers during a dive action. And if you see a yellow banner, that ability scores at the end of the game. Beneath some abilities, you may also see an icon showing 3 people. When that icon appears, all players may benefit from the ability when it activates. Again, refer to your player aid at any time for a description of anatomy and icons. Now that we understand the anatomy of a fish card a little better, we can dive into the game. Whenever you take an action, start by taking one of your divers and placing it on the mat in the location of the action you're choosing. Each diver represents one of your turns and helps you keep track of what actions you've already taken this week. When you want to play a fish card, start by placing one of your divers under the fish icon in the upper left of your ocean mat. Next, look to the cost of the card you want to play, along with any zone or column requirements it may have. When you discard cards from your hand, place them into your own personal face-up discard pile beside your ocean mat. Any fish or egg tokens you discard go back into the general supply. If you are instructed to consume a fish, that fish must already be on your ocean mat in the space where you want to play the new card. It can be a fish you previously played or a forage fish that is pre-printed on your mat. The fish being consumed must also be smaller than the new fish you are playing. Place the new card directly on top of the consumed fish. Consumed fish are worth 1 point each at the end of the game, but they do not count as fish in your ocean. If there are any egg or fish tokens in that space, move them on to the new card. Finally, resolve any when played abilities shown on the card, making sure to announce if the ability applies to all players. Once that's done, your turn is over. Let's go over egg and fish tokens real quick. Whenever you're instructed to place a new egg, you may place it on any fish card in your ocean that does not already have an egg on it. This includes forage fish. Each fish can only hold 1 egg at a time. When you're instructed to hatch an egg, flip that token to its young fish side, or the single yellow fish side. Young fish hatched from an egg stay on the same fish card. Young fish can be on any fish card or in any empty slot on your ocean mat. They can share a space with eggs, other young fish, and schoolfish tokens. When you place a third young fish into the same space, you form a school. Remove the 3 young fish tokens and replace them with a red schoolfish token. Schoolfish can be on any fish card or empty space on your ocean mat, as long as that space does not already contain a schoolfish token. When moving young fish or schoolfish, they move in a straight line and may move any number of spaces. Remember, schoolfish cannot share spaces with other schoolfish. If you ever move a third young fish into a space that already contains a schoolfish, nothing happens. However, if that schoolfish later moves out of the space, you may immediately form a new school there. At the end of the game, all remaining eggs and young fish are worth 1 point each, and each school is worth 6 points. The other available action is to go for a dive. Diving is a great way to gain more fish cards for your hand, lay and hatch eggs, and move young fish around to form schools. To dive, take one of your divers and choose the column in which you want to descend. Each column offers different abilities. Place your diver on the flippers at the top of that column, either blue, purple, or green. Next to the flippers, you'll see a brown activation icon. If there is a fish card or a forage fish in that zone, you may activate the bonus ability. From there, move your diver straight down the column. You may stop at each fish card that shows an if activated icon and resolve that ability before continuing. But be sure to announce any abilities that apply to all players. Stop again at the top of the Twilight Zone. If there is a fish card in that zone, you may perform the bonus ability before moving on to the fish card itself. Then continue down to the top of the Midnight Zone, where you may again perform the bonus ability if there is a fish card in that zone. Continue moving, stopping at any remaining fish with the if activated abilities, and finish at the bottom of the column. If this is your first time diving in that column this week, collect the column's bonus and leave your diver in the bonus space. Any additional dives in that same column are placed to the left of the bonus space and do not receive the bonus. Once you've completed the dive, your turn is over. When the final player finishes their 6th turn, the week is over. Check the achievement goal and score points marking them on the score pad. Next, retrieve all of your divers from your ocean mat and set them aside. If you have the first player marker, pass it to the next player clockwise. Then move the week's tracker to the next space on the achievement mat. You're now ready to begin the next round. At the end of week 4, there are no achievements to score. Instead, look at your end of game abilities and resolve them in any order. Once those are complete, it's time for final scoring. Start by pulling out your score pad. First, add any points gained from yellow end game abilities. Then total the printed points values on all visible fish cards in your ocean. Next, count your eggs, scoring 1 point for each. Count your young fish, again scoring 1 point for each. Then count your schoolfish, scoring 6 points per school. Finally, count all consumed fish, including any forage fish that are covered. These are worth 1 point each. Add everything together. The player with the most points wins the game. If there's a tie, the tied player with the most cards left in hand takes the victory. And that's how to play Finspan. When you get comfortable with the game, you can flip the achievement board to side B and randomly select 3 achievement goals and place them on weeks 1 through 3. Or you can try our special advanced play, House Rules, where when you go for a dive, you have to hold your breath until you hit the bottom. It keeps the pace of the game quick. Let me demonstrate. All right, it's my turn. I think I'm gonna go for a dive. All right, let's do this. Place an egg. Draw a card. Oh wait, it's for bell, draw a card. Okay, place an egg. Place an egg. One more egg. And we are done. Got it.
Well done.
Thank you. Your turn.
Okay. I think I'll dive too.
Awesome.
Okay. No, not there. No, not there. Yes. No, wait. Yes, there. Okay. Okay. Hatch. Yes. Hatch. Oh my gosh, this is hard. Hatch color. Okay, another. And what are we doing here? Hatching 2. Okay, yes. Grab another fish. And we're doing another hatch. Okay, an egg. Hatching, school, move. 1 more, school.
She wasn't quick enough. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to learn more great games. Turn the bell on to be notified of my latest videos. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to respond. And remember, it's not just how you play, it's how much fun you have. I'll see you next time on Board to Learn. I'm gonna go check on my wife. Want to see something cool? Flip the boards over.